Well, we learned exactly what HDP is, and it's super gross. We found out the only way that the unjoined can get infected. And also, did our man in Paraguay just give us some major foreshadowing? All that and more as we discuss a brand new episode of Pluribus here on Unbinged starting now. Welcome to Unbinged, the podcast for the movies and shows you love to binge. I'm Alfredo Brown, joined as always. I got Jagger May, Matt Kaufhammer. Today we are talking Pluribus episode 6 titled HDP. Guys, we have a lot to get into. First, let's get that spoiler warning.
This is your one and only warning that we're about to spoil Pluribus. So get your Pluribusy home and catch up before you watch us.
Welcome back, Pluribussies. We are talking, I keep wanting to call it like HBD, HDP. Like I keep
HBK.
not. Yeah, like I get it right and then I get it wrong. HDP, human derived protein. We have learned. That is that was some really gross ASMR to start this show out. The Pluribussies do not thank you for that. Instant thumbs down. Instant thumbs down. Guys, we get the coolest cameo, John Cena, in there telling us all about what the HDP is, like why they're using it. We come to find out most of the world's population would essentially starve within the next 10 years. And this is supposed to be a good thing. We're helping you, actually, by the way, us giving you this HDP and us drinking it. So, yeah, they're eating dead bodies. Big time Thanos energy. Jag, I need your thoughts.
I mean, I was wrong. I was like, surely they won't do the soylent grain. But once they broke down the math, and to me, the eating people thing, it really is just absolute necessity. Because the big shocker is like, we can't harm any life. That's what got me. I'm like, y'all are the most bitch-made virus I've ever seen. Like Alfredo, we watched this shit together. I was just like, man, the outbreak monkey would never. Like, he would have us dead within a week.
Wuhan bat, couldn't be me.
The pangolin or Wuhan bat or something out there, they'd have this earth murked. But, like, eating people, the fact that we're a raccoon race. We're fucking scavengers. Like a buzzard is the most terrifying, and a vulture, one of the most terrifying birds on the planet, can't kill shit.
Misunderstood.
Dead on the ground. So
misunderstood.
They're misunderstood, as in they're fucking nasty, and that's horrifying.
They're a necessary part of the ecosystem. I wonder. So they said, if they had their druthers, they would be vegetarians, but they can't harvest anything. They can only get windfall and shit that already falls naturally. We did see a very small moment in the episode when we're following, I'm never going to say his name right, but the French guy in Vegas, where they're basically putting on, it felt like a reenactment of like a Bond scene, right?
I love that you just sidestepped that. Yep. You did the horrible bosses. You're like, that name's a fucking nightmare, buddy. I'm just going to call you Gregory.
Basically.
I'm just going to call him the French. Got it. Okay.
Mr. Vegas is his name now. So he literally tells the guy in the eye patch, he's like, stay in character. And then the guy throws a fit and throws a glass and accidentally hurts somebody else. So I wonder if that is a small bit of foreshadowing where the answer is the unjoined can tell them the harvest shit and then they have to do it. So I wonder if that's the answer, because they already were like, well, we thought about robotics, but then they'd have to build them and program them. Whereas if they just tell them like, hey, it'd be really cool and make me really happy is if you guys went and harvested this whole field of wheat and then processed it and ate it. Could that be like a sidestep around this issue? And maybe we'll see that happen.
I mean, that is because I wonder about the rules. They're like, we're harming life because technically pruning helps the life of plants.
Yes. Right. So, they said they still milk cows because cows need to be milked or they're in pain. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something I need to iron out and I'm sure Carol's going to ask these questions and we're going to get it, is just like, how far can we push some of these roles? Because it's just literally, I'm like Carol in this, where she's like, I don't know, maybe pick a fucking apple, It's just, this seems really fucking stupid at this point. Yep. Like, you are going to die and kill everyone because you just won't be like, ooh,
the apple's screaming. Yeah, exactly.
what's the breaking point though? Like, there's got to be a breaking point in terms of like the food, in terms of the people. Like, because even this method here, like, there's an obvious point where you just run out of resources, right? And Cough, to your point about like one of the unjoined could just tell them, go start harvesting food. You can tell them to do anything at this point. We've already established that. You can tell them to give you an atomic bomb and they will do it, right? Like, there's, and I'm going to use this word very cautiously, but it's because these are not technically really humans right now. It's like, it's a form of slavery. Like, we're already seeing that with Diabate and the people that he has around him. Like, they're just all his concubines. You even got the security guards there that are like, we would also like to join, hands up. And he's like, nah, not this time, fellas. Like, there's no line. Like, where's the line?
Yeah. The John Cena, that's hilarious too. He's like, yeah, we've been hanging out. He's like, it's not John Cena.
He's teaching me how to do a sunset power bomb.
Sunset power bomb is amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, if John Cena told me anything, I'd believe him. So yeah,
Real
perfect
talk,
representation.
What would you guys do? Because like I got to give Diabate some credit. Like, I would run drills. I would run some scenarios. But that I'm there because you essentially you could play a real life live action video game. I would straight up set up an Inception
Dungeon
heist
crawlers.
for me. I want to do I want to do the Joseph Gordon-Levitt hallway scene, set that shit up, and I want to do it. Like I want to do the entire Inception movie. I'll wait. Y'all come get me when you guys are done. That's what I would want to do.
You're just going to be Loki, where he's pretending to be his dad and he's just watching a play of himself, his life reenacted by Matt Damon.
Mm-hmm. Actually, yeah, that's true. I would be writing my own movies, and I'm just like, yeah, that fucking slaps. Put this on HBO.
What's the joke from Dave Chappelle where he's like, the movie Antoine Fisher, written and directed by Antoine Fisher, and he's like, we can do that? Like, we can just make our own movies? He's like, I can't be held responsible for what I put in there.
Tell me you wouldn't right now. Like, to me, actually, I'm wrong. There's only one answer what I would do. It's the penguin chase sequence in the Batman. Like, that's the one thing I'm doing right now. That's the only right answer of what I'm doing right now. It's just like, go get me Colin Farrell, put the fucking makeup on him, and then I want to do the I got you, I got makeup on him, and I'm gonna do the walkout and shit, full Batman garb. That's what I'll do.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. First thing I'd be able to get me a tricked out plane or RV, and we're gonna hit up every single theme park in America, and I'm gonna ride every roller coaster in America. That's gonna be the first.
Wholesome, actually. That's like really wholesome. You're not gonna bang anybody along the way.
And well,
don't answer that. Don't answer that for your future wife, and don't answer that question. God.
Alfredo's an angel on your shoulder, and I'm the demon. I'm like, what are you gonna? What's the bad stuff you're gonna do, Cough?
How many cars are in a roller coaster? Because I'm not going alone. I'm gonna have a bunch of people with me.
I'm telling you this. I'm not going to Vegas. I'm having them construct a full to scale Wayne Manor with a bat cave, computer, Batmobile, all of it. Every single.
So we're all just going to be Batman.
Fortress of Solitude.
Essentially, we're going to be Manousos' mother, just in the shadows with her chancla, just throwing it across the street. Hola, hijo. Just full Batman voice.
Vengeance.
Okay. So I know that like one of the things that we've talked about a lot is how this show and the Joined have been so much an allegory for AI, and like how Cough, what you put here in the notes is sort of the detrimental pacifism, which like in a way there's so many parts of AI that fit that, where it's like I'm kind of looking at this as the Joined are feeding off of dead people. AI feeds off of people using it every day rather than thinking for themselves. And it's getting smarter and it's building, and it's kind of this like AI replacing people that won't think for themselves. They would prefer to be vegetarians. Like there's so many things here. Like I would prefer to be creative, but I'm just going to use this instead. Right. Like there's so many little layers to this. That's kind of how I saw it. Like I maybe it's not an AI thing and we're all really pushing that, but that allegory seems to like continue to ring very true.
For me, it's most poignant and most obvious when Diabate is not in the room. right? Like he leaves and then they all go back to like standard like robot mode and then they scurry off. So it's like you said, going back to AI, it's like when you're putting a prompt in for AI, it's giving you the response that it thinks is best for what your prompt was. But when you're not there, what is AI doing, right? What's it doing in the background? And so that's where like these learning models, I think, is most poignant in the show. It's like in the background, they're still learning, they're still growing, they're still changing, but you don't see that until you put a prompt in that may show it.
Yeah, and the detrimental passivism thing, this is where I'm confused, because we saw what is, I think, natural actions to human, or from human life, or not human life, or just life in general, where we want to multiply, we want to survive. Like immediately it went from rat to human, and then she's like, cool, make out party at this facility, and then boom, we got the entire world, fast forward. And then its will to survive stops right then. At what point, surely the virus or the hive mind, the pluribuses, could have stopped to think maybe we should stop because we're incapable of feeding ourselves after a certain point. That's where I'm confused, because like
that's us. That's us. We don't stop either.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Where it literally didn't think it through, or it was so confident that it would figure its shit out that it didn't.
How much of their decision making process is still based in human thought process?
Biology.
Like you're limited to the biology of the host.
Like this car can only go 65 miles an hour no matter who's driving, type thing. Well,
it's weird because we're still like, you have the hive mind of even the smartest person on Earth and multiple, like all the smartest people on Earth. Okay, but now it's just going to get weird because I'm like, what's the restriction of that? Where do we go? Like, there's no answer to that.
Well, I think we're missing something, because remember, I think it was episode 2 or 3 when Zosha tells Carol, she's like, it's a biological imperative for us to want you to join. Like, we're trying to bring you into the fold. So how much of this is still biological imperative driving them forward versus conscious thought and planning?
Nature versus nurture. Like their nature says just like breed.
Keep
but
going.
Like, keep going. But then like
logically,
Yeah. Nurture. Like it's kind of like me. It's like I want to bang big booty Latinas, but like they also make me sick at the same time. They hurt me, and I'm just like that. My need versus the results. I get it now. I get it. It all comes back to Latinas.
Goes back to big
I got
booty
nothing.
Latinas.
I got absolutely nothing. This is this is going to be the time where I say, hey, like and subscribe. Comment down below.
Oh my God, Alfredo.
Your thoughts.
No, come on.
Nope.
Coward.
Like and subscribe. Give me your thoughts. Fun fact, Alfredo's mom watches and she's our biggest supporter, so he has to act right.
Love you, Mark.
She had to tell me this last week at Thanksgiving. She's like, you do say some things that I'm like, why would you say that? And I was like, well, maybe stop watching.
Entertaining.
Which, by the way, if you are watching, please take a sec to like this video, comment down below with your thoughts on the show of Unbinged, or Pluribus, your theories, your comments, your questions, everything you've got there. Because what we do is every week we will take a look at those comments and we will read them in the following show. We're going to be doing that today as well. But also, what we really, really need, this helps us so much as a growing independent podcast. All right, we got our Spotify Wrapped, and the results just felt so good to see. We are in the top 20% of video podcasts out there. But what helps us, guys, is if you go and give us reviews. Okay, a 5-star review helps so much. We're not gonna beg you to give us a 5-star review, but it helps us a ton, whether it's on Apple or Spotify. It just means the world to us. It allows us to grow, and we can get this show out to more and more people and do more things, man. Like, who knows, maybe one day we're in a studio, like doing something really fun for everybody and giving you a great show.
And use the hype button on YouTube for us as well.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Hype it up. Hype it up. You press like, and then it'll hype button will show up. Or if you're there on your mobile device, swipe the comments to the left. Boom. Hype. It's a big deal for us. Guys, we also have a couple other shows. Welcome to Dairy, Stranger Things, Fallout, bunch of cool stuff that's coming up. All right, back to Pluribus. Now, we were bordering on this conversation of talking about consent, and I think that kind of where's the line, right? I think that kind of leads perfectly into what Carol finds out in this episode, which is that the joined need her stem cells in order to essentially convert her. And to do that, they need consent, which I think is One, it's going to tell us that Carol is safe. All of our unjoined are safe until they decide otherwise. We did get the reveal that the joined were not happy about it. And I think this is interesting. An interesting contrast between the joined needing consent for our main characters versus someone like Diabate, who technically doesn't need consent to do anything he's doing, or Carol, who doesn't need consent to do anything that she's doing. And none of our characters have consent. It's a very stark contrast.
It's very weird too, because normal society, right? You're used to being able to hear no and hear someone say, no, I don't want to do that right now. Whereas they kind of flipped on the head with the joined, where they're just like, what can we do to make you happy, with almost no limits? I mean, we see like Carol going back to the grenade and the atomic bomb being like, would you give me one? Like, well, we would try to talk you out of it, but we would eventually give you the weapon. So where does that line play from an individual standpoint, where it's like we see Diabate in the tub with 4 or 5 different women, and then the cleaning lady comes in, he's like, do you want to come in too? And she doesn't, I don't think she says
really
yes.
masked.
She just starts
It's
undressing.
Really, yeah, it's really masked as like him asking, but we kind of know at this point that they are sort of programmed to do whatever makes him happy, or what they think would make him happy.
So that's less consent then and more coercion at that point, because while he is doing it in a nice way, he is still coercing them if at the end of the day that individual wouldn't want to sleep with him or join him in the tub. So that's where things get a little murky between consent and coercion in this case, because it's almost like he's gaming the system. And that's where I think, going back to my point about the harvesting thing, can they game the system to get them to harvest food and not die? If that is their true, like he talks about the Zoom meetings where like, we want to come up with a solution.
Yeah, why don't you trick him into something that's like, let's play farming simulator.
I want to do farm. I want to do.
It's not real, guys. It's a game. It's a game.
In this act of the play, we harvest the wheat.
That's a real life game, by the way.
Real.
A real life fucking game,
simulator?
farming simulator.
Yeah.
So it's
get it for your kids, everybody.
No, make them go outside and farm for real. Go the fuck outside. That's some
make them farm for real. Jag out here putting child labor.
Hey
man, vegetable gardens are a thing.
Fuck y'all, dude. I got
what
chased
if you don't
by
grow up
emus.
in a farm? You get chased
vegetable
by
garden.
What? Hold on.
I got chased by cows as a kid.
Uncle Jimmy had a wild farm, dog. He had emus on his farm and shit.
I need this. Uncle Jimmy's farm with emus.
Emu farm.
Go.
Yeah, he had a farm where like he had everything: cows, chickens, all that shit. But he had emus because he liked them. So you had to go in there and feed them fuckers. Yeah,
Did he eat the emus, or he just liked them and raised them?
He just liked them. Honestly, it'd make more sense if he ate them, because they are so mean, they are so fast and violent that like why are we keeping actual fucking raptors up? Like it's some Jurassic.
They defeated
Park.
the Australian army at some point.
You ever seen their feet? It looks exactly like a raptor foot.
I'm terrified.
Australia
of birds
lost the
for
war against emus. If you guys didn't know, back in the 80s. So yeah, don't fuck with emus.
Yeah,
if you know so much about Australia, man.
Yeah.
Why do you know so much about Australia?
I like to read. I don't know.
Yeah, man. That's like when you don't know if you're the Dwight of the place you work, like who's the Dwight? If you don't know, it's you, and that's me. No, I'm Dwight, dog. I've done weird shit, like work on an emu farm. And,
okay.
I'm definitely the Dwight. Cough. Like,
we'll see.
Hey, you want to out weird me, dog? You can have that title. This is not a flex.
This is not an honorific.
I don't want this.
I abstain. I'm just gonna sit back and watch.
Shut up, Jim.
Alfredo's like, here's why I ask you to like and subscribe.
Just do that for every awkward moment.
Yeah, anytime Alfredo's uncomfortable, he nervously asks you to like and subscribe.
I go full pluribusy, just like and subscribe. Okay, next topic.
If he ever has a bad date, he's just like, man, if you're really into this date, hit the like and subscribe.
Please,
it's gonna be awkward for his wife.
Okay, let's go back to this. Let's go back to it, guys. All right, so we find out is there anything that could get you guys, or anything that you think could get our characters to possibly consent to removing stem cells? They really lay it out. It is a painful procedure, drawing from the hip. I'm gonna say this: Lakshmi is in. Like, she's totally in.
She wants to be
if
with
they
her,
ask her.
with her son. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I think I've said it before on one of the previous episodes. Like, I would be into joining the joined at some point. Once I get bored enough, I'm like,
weird, bro.
Assimilate me. I don't.
But
I
you
don't
won't get
care
an
anymore.
iPhone? The hell's the matter with you?
Nope.
Mhm.
Nope. I know. I'm weird like
Okay.
that.
That is a weird lie.
But
Thank you for bringing that up, Alfredo.
That's
it's worth
weird,
noting.
man.
It's worth noting.
That's
Cough would
commerce
rather
is
have-
where you draw the line, huh, bud?
Yeah,
It's
Cough would rather
yeah,
have a Google
capitalism.
Pixel, which is the Carol of cell phones.
But at
Goff
some
would stick
point,
with a
right?
Motorola Razor before conforming.
Honestly, I wish I could go back. Honestly, though, at some point you have to, like, if you are one of 12 in the entire world that is not a part of the join, at what point do you go, okay, I've done everything I want to do, or I've outgrown this stage of being alone? Like, you're gonna get to the point of like loneliness where you want to join in just because you have no other option, you have no other alternative. It's either that or you wait till you die.
What happens if, let's say, the dude in Paraguay and Carol get together
They're
and
gonna
have a
meet
kid
up.
or something? You know,
Oh.
would that look? Obviously, if they
Is she
pass
able
on
to?
genes that are resistant, that's one thing.
What?
But what happens if the kid doesn't have resistance for it? Can you just say, "No, not my baby. Don't infect my baby"? Where
we still don't know
does
how the
permission
That
infection
sounds like a
works at
future,
this
like a
point.
Tomorrow Carol problem.
I'm
Actually,
just-
Koff, you bring up a good point though. Didn't she have her eggs
Is she
frozen?
biologically able
She
to
was
have a
talking
kid at
about
this point? She might be past menopause.
I'm just
Okay.
I'm saying
We're not doing
scenarios,
that.
dog. I'm saying scenarios. I'm
Okay,
not-
so what your scenario is not necessarily those people, but it's man, woman,
Woman,
have
yeah.
child,
yeah,
and
I'm
then
just saying
that child.
Would it be resilient?
I don't know, because the thing is, like, we're seeing it's not necessarily something that's passed down like recessively, right? Because Lakshmi she's not infected, but her son is.
Yeah, it's
right?
like
So
red
does it
hair
ta-
is an extremely recessive gene when you think about it statistically. But if you killed off everyone with not red hair, there'd still be like thousands of people, if not millions. So I don't know the statistics actually, but I know it's a lot.
This is why we need.
There you go,
bigger
Gingers.
Sean.
Jagger's ready
Yeah.
to get rid of you.
Well, no, I meant the other way. That like since there's only 12, it's more of it's not a recessive thing. It's more of like a genetic fuck up. Let's just
It's
say
an anomaly.
Okay.
an anomaly, So like, can you pass that on? Statistically, it sounds like you can't, because there would be more people that are genetic anomalies at this point. So can you be like, hey, I'm going to make this baby and I'm going to make my pluribus free family, you fuck off, and we're going to have our own community. Like, could you do that?
But then there's still going to be the issue of eventually you run out of like novel genetic material to keep a community going, and then you got a bunch of incest babies, and that's bad. That's bad news bears.
No.
What if you had
Uh,
an entire army of millions of people with genes?
What do you mean? Like
Incubate,
you
baby.
have 12.
You like,
You
hey,
have 12 right now.
no, but what I'm saying is, well, I guess we'll say, like,
So-
what if you put eggs into like another, like you're doing the intravenous like shit like
Still,
that.
you
with
don't
the-
have it.
But isn't
don't have
isn't the
enough
risk
people.
here? Isn't the risk here that you're going to create more people that also just immediately get infected? Like, if you gave birth, would they not just immediately infect this baby?
That's what I'm curious
Eventually.
about. Like eventually they wouldn't, but like, and
Season
Coffee,
2.
you're right. We are going to you're going to have a generation or two with maybe a couple or less toes than need be, but we'd eventually
We're turning into
breed
the
that
Habsburgs,
shit
baby.
out.
We're looking at you, Alabama.
Habsburg pluribus. But that's the thing, is like, from a genetic standpoint, you need at least, I think it's somewhere like 100. I think it's 100,000 people to be able to maintain a population that doesn't devolve into just incest immediately. because otherwise,
I gotta
you don't have
say,
enough
I've never done the
knowledge and
math, the
material.
incest math. This podcast has taken a really weird turn.
Cough, the
Hey,
amount
man,
of knowledge that
apocalypse.
you have is both impressive and horrifying. Like, what are you
It really
Googling,
is.
dog?
Like, what were you doing? Like, was it just a slow Thursday and you were like, I wonder, what's the number?
So
What's
I don't
the bare
sleep.
minimum?
I don't sleep. I just go on different tabs of the internet and go down some really, really dark holes. So it's fun times in my brain.
I appreciate this, Cough. You're like our own joined right now of information of fucked up shit that I don't want the FBI to know that I Google.
Cough is incognito mode.
I mistakenly believe that incognito mode will keep me safe, and then Google is like, actually, we track all that too, and I'm like,
Duck, go, baby. Duck, go.
Ask Jeeves.
Cough your ass G's from now on.
Just on, fucked up weird shit. That's all.
Cough, I got this messed up question. I don't want my FBI agent to know. I need you to Google this
Probably
shit.
got an answer for you.
So, okay, here we talk about like what could potentially lead our characters, or like what would have us even considering this. They did a little bit of foreshadowing, and I felt like it was one of those small moments in the show that I feel like is one of the big moments in the show, where it's the breadcrumb that leads to more and more stuff that's happening. And it's breakfast between Carol and Diabate, where she's like, cool, this looks good. She hasn't really had someone cook her breakfast, and then she starts putting it together and makes herself a little avocado toast, and Diabate is looking at that like, that seems interesting. And then he starts to copy her, and all of a sudden you have this like actual relationship of two people where there is creativity, there's free thought, there's just something that's there, and he, almost immediately takes to it. And then vice versa with Carol, when she's like, all right, cool. So I'll just, I'll find another suite in the hotel, and we'll catch up later and keep talking. And she sees how bummed he gets, and she plays it off as a joke. And like the two of them are just so lonely. And I wonder, what is the breaking point for these two characters where, he runs out of the women and the James Bond poker games, and she just gets to the point where she's like, man, even the joined don't want to be around me. Like, what's the breaking point for them?
I think Carol's at her breaking point. Diabate is not at his breaking point. He's like,
not bored yet.
Yeah, he's not bored. What Carol did was come in and interrupt the game. He's like, man, I really just want to turn the Xbox back on, man. And like, I don't want to get in trouble by my mommy, who is the virus god hive mind, because like that was a heartbreaking moment where you see in her face the realization. She's like, I'm just kidding. I don't want to be your friend. And then she does the whole, I'm going to be mean to stay in character, like, fuck you. I'm ready to get out of Vegas. I didn't want to be here anyway. Like that's it was an incredibly sad moment. Like, where you want to hug Carol the entire time, where you're just like, man, you really fucked up. And that's where I wanted to push back, where you guys mentioned that you can just ask the virus to do things. Cause like, they're not coming back. Can she just ask like, hey, can you give me people to hang out with?
They keep saying they need space, so that signifies that they're just taking time. So eventually they may come back around.
Well,
but
she also pushed. Can she also
right
pushed
now? Them.
That's what I wonder.
But she also pushed them away through her actions, whereas Diabate has been maintaining like a cordial relationship with them. So I'm assuming as soon as Carol left Vegas, they immediately came back to surround him. So I think we're seeing two ends of the spectrum of loneliness, right? We're seeing Carol, who is isolated by herself. She got what she wanted, supposedly, by being alone. And then you got Diabate, who is, even though he's surrounded by the joined and he's got people constantly around him, he is the personification of loneliness in a crowd, right? He just hasn't realized it yet. So eventually they're going to get to the point where, like I said, either he gets bored or he realizes none of these interactions are real. And it's because of his interactions with Carol that he makes that point.
I got you. So Diabate, and I'm going to do just a quick story. Diabate is a dude at a strip club. My wife and I, we went to a friend's dinner that it was on the rooftop of what we thought was a club. This is 11 in Miami, by the way, for those of you who are familiar with it. Very famous club. Athletes, celebrities all go there.
Please indulge this flex, guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. We walk in, and one of the people there gets us free VIP. So, all right, cool, man. This is gonna be great. We'll just go hang out and dance a little bit, get some music, have some drinks. Walk in. First server that I see has like a little mesh, broad, see through. I'm like, okay, well, that's Miami. And then next one walks by, totally topless, and I'm like, Miami's really pushing it. And then we turn the corner, sit down in the VIP section. I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, that's a stage with a pole. I always heard they had dancers here, but this is a club with dancers, right? False. It is just a straight up strip club that men get to tell their wives is a club, which, okay, that's weird anyways. But you go there and I'm looking around and there are so many of these sad middle-aged dudes that are getting attention from the dancers in there. And it is exactly what Diabate is right here, where it's the biological imperative, or at least with the dancers, it's I need to make money. The biological imperative for the joined is to make him happy. So you get all this fake interaction, the happiness, but like as soon as the shift is over, or as soon as you say I don't have the money, the dancers are gone. And so I'm wondering, what is it for them? Like, when is the shift over? When do they stop? Like how
when he's
when,
out
like,
of the room.
Sure. Yeah.
They're like reverse Toy Story, where like when Andy leaves the room, they're like, all right, we're toys again. And like that's kind of how it happens. And I love the parallel that you're making to a strip club, because that's like if you ever been to a strip club, that's what it's like. Let's put it this way, if you've been to a strip club and you've had somebody who loves you before, it's sad. If you haven't, then sure, it's happy.
What are you
after
talking
the time
about?
being.
The strippers love me, of course.
Yeah, there's something like you're paying for them, and it's so transactional that like my next thing, it's going to sound transactional, but when you've actually earned genuine love, it feels a lot different than when you pay someone to pretend to love you. That's a whole
it's the customer service version
if
of
you've
love.
been loved or paid for love.
Yeah. Make sure to use your burner YouTube account. We will post this. So
we see you, Kevin. We see you, Kevin Durant.
All right. Character that we went back to is Manousos over in Paraguay. And I like that we're using the timer that tells us we're going actually back in time to him, which cool. means he's probably going to be catching up to Carol at any minute now, right?
So is he driving from Paraguay?
That's a long drive. That is days.
Which would make sense if they went back 3 days, because then by the time she gets back from Vegas, he meets her up.
I'd have to imagine it's that long, because it's very far. Like, it is in the middle of South America. It's a long drive. And what he's doing here is he's going through every single radio frequency, and you see him writing them down, crossing them out. Finally, he goes back to one where he had a question mark. And you sort of hear, and at first, like, I had to listen to it a couple times because I thought, oh, are they playing music at the same time that the frequency is going on? Like, is this a thing where they're playing like something behind what's happening? And no, that's actually coming through. It's like a rhythmic sound, a beat to it. We know that this whole thing started with a sound wave. So I'm wondering, is that the original sound wave, or is this a foreshadowing to something else? Maybe even a way to reverse the joining that he has found.
The off beat, where it's just like, here's the off button, go start making out and spreading.
Interesting. That's an interesting point. Or I wonder if it might also be like another pocket of survivors that the joined haven't figured, because it took them 4 days to figure out this guy was in Paraguay. So maybe there's another group that went underground immediately when shit was popping off, and maybe we'll get like a compound of survivors that are unjoined. So maybe that's a potential, clue.
You gotta think there's some doomsday preppers,
right? It has to be at least one, one John Goodman looking motherfucker, like Cloverfield Lane.
Isn't there islands as well that are just indigenous out in the middle of nowhere that are like still full blown?
Yeah, there's one off of India that like kills people when they try to join, when they try to go there.
And I wonder how they're going to approach that, because like they straight up said, we got the people in the space station. Like, to what extent?
Which how?
I mean, right. So like,
they
how?
Send a sandwich.
Right?
They're like,
here you go.
They licked it.
Long? Yeah.
I think that's going to be interesting, of like who is left So is that going to be, is that the main like thought process here, is maybe he found someone that's left, or do we think this could be linked to something new? Because I wonder if
I think he
something...
found the signal, because that signal was. I rewatched the first episode here recently so my sister could see it, and like it was such a big deal that a radio signal was coming out of nowhere. So the fact that they're picking it up from space, I don't think it's that far-fetched that it went a little bit further to where you could pick it up on Earth as well, because maybe someone is strengthening that signal, you know?
Interesting. Okay, so you think someone could be strengthening that signal? Is that like whatever the originator is? They're trying to strengthen that and keep it like, try as many things as they can aside from the stem cell stuff?
Yeah, it's
the
making sure they got us, you know?
Got it.
See, but the signal didn't do anything except for give us the blueprint for the DNA or the RNA virus. So to me, the signal has no significance other than being like a recipe. So it doesn't have any impact on the joined when they hear it. It's not until they decode it and turn it into the RNA virus that it does something. So
I was thinking more along the lines of like, this is an improved signal. Like, okay, version 1 didn't work, so here, let's roll out V2.
We have to remember, though, that the signal came from like 800 light years away. So it would take 800 years for us to get a new version from the original source. So unless you're saying that this is a new version that the join created and pushed out, but if they did, why would it be so shaky of a signal? Wouldn't they want to push that over every radio wave instead of just a single like fuzzy signal?
I'm willing to say that it's like a beta version. Like we heard the beta version and they're like, all right, cool, let's send in the next one. And you know, like if there's a third wave, I'm curious of what's going to happen there. We just don't know. And I'm open
let us know, guys, in the comments, by the way, like what you think here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, I think I really, because we're kind of talking in circles about it, but the more we do, I do start to think that it could be doomsday. It sounded too musical to be something that they're getting from space. And I wonder if it's almost like, remember in The Last of Us where Joel has like certain frequencies where if you play certain songs, it means certain things. And I wonder if there's one of those like doomsday preppers that is staying on that frequency, playing music, just constantly seeing if there are survivors, like something like that. It would also make more sense for the show. Let's introduce some more characters. Let's introduce someone else that can be a resource for Carol and Manousos.
Yeah, Nick Offerman. I need that cameo.
Yep. Yes, that'd be fantastic.
All right, guys. So we've talked about everything that we wanted to talk about, but every week what we do is we go into the comments from last week's episode and we take a look at some of those, and we're going to be reading those off now, discussing them. And we got this from last week's YouTube episode. Guantanamo Mobile sent in this comment, which it actually talks a lot about what we've been talking about, is them like eating the I keep wanting to call it HPV. Definitely not that. HDP, right? Yeah. So he said this, or she, or they. The hive has the infrastructure for agriculture, processing, and distribution. With that level of control, it could optimize farming for maximum calories and nutrients far more efficiently than recycling humans. Consuming neural tissue is a guaranteed path to extremely fatal prion diseases, epidemic like Kuru, which are 100% fatal, incurable, and would rip through the hive in 1 to 3 weeks. So
we saw no evidence they were using brain tissue. That prions are only if you're consuming like brain tissue and certain organs. We saw from this episode that they're.
I gotta say, I thought that was a car. I had no idea what a prion was, man.
It's a Prius.
Prions, so something like so like okay, so like mad cow disease, right? Is when farmers and factory farming, they use tainted tissue like brain matter and put it back into the feed of the cow, and then creates prion disease, and then that fucks things up. But we saw no evidence that they're using internal organs. We saw evidence that they're using like thigh tissue, like meat from the body without any of the brain stuff. So,
but I don't think we know the other way.
Ultra processing it. What's the other way?
Like we don't know that they're not doing that. Like why shrink wrap the heads then?
Right. We don't know for sure, but at the same time, they're also ultra processing it, and to me, that shows that they're making sure that there's no evidence of prion disease getting into the food supply. Because he's right, or they are right. Like if this did get released in the hive, that would destroy millions, if not billions of them. But I don't know. It just seems like that's a little bit of a reach. And while
also seems like if you have all the smartest people on Earth in one hive mind, they would know that more than like
that's what I'm saying.
A couple of podcasters, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Plus, we already got the answer where it's like, oh yeah, efficient farming. Well, they don't harvest anything because they can't hurt plant life. So we already got that answer. The prion thing is a risk, but I think it's such a minimal risk at this point that it's not going to come up in the show.
Bro, this is the toughest thing to do in TV, and like we run into this when we talk about like Gen V and The Boys, when you have, or like Fantastic Four, any superhero thing where it's like that person is the smartest in the world, right? Where it's so hard to write and please everyone when you're saying we have the smartest people in the world. That to me is like the toughest thing to do in TV, and they're trying to do it now with an entire hive mind of everyone in population, essentially.
Yeah, and this is the type of shit like Christopher Nolan had to have like real scientists help with Interstellar. Like I'm wondering how much work they had to do with finding all these plot holes for Pluribus, like prion disease. Because I'm not gonna lie, guys, again, I'm a podcaster, I talk about football for a living. I had no fucking clue what this was until you guys commented it. Like, keep doing this, keep
you guys never
me.
played Plague Inc? Like, you guys never played Plague Inc when like coronavirus broke out and it became huge on like a mobile game?
Or game?
Plague Inc. It was a mobile game.
Yeah,
one of the categories for the virus you can be is a prion, which is a brain disease.
That's bad fucking form. We're all in quarantine, and they're like, you know what we need is a game about people getting a plague.
It was actually before Corona was a thing, but they because of coronavirus, everyone jumped on it, and then they came out with a version where you could be the vaccine against the disease, which is lame as hell. But anyway.
Have some fucking decorum, America. Jesus. Cough, you're so insensitive. My grandpa died. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you eat it?
I hate that I left.
It's fun. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Remember,
yeah, guys,
I run
honestly,
on laughter.
When you have these smart please. We're entertainers. Like we're here to podcast, talk about stuff. We're not going to know a cough apparently will, but you know, we're just here to talk about strip clubs and football apparently.
So wait, one thing, one more point going back to, so there's something that I think John Cena says in the episode where it's like, yeah, culturally it's kind of iffy. The cannibalism is kind of a cultural no-no, but we have no other option when it comes to sustenance. And the reason that cannibalism is such a cultural no-no is because of things like prions. Because if you don't correctly process it, you can create a pretty big biological event that can destroy a community.
Well, I think
that's nature saying it's fucked and you shouldn't do it. So
I think with
maybe
that scene is
animals eat each other all the time. Predators in the wild eat their own all the time.
I think what that scene is also doing is it's like reinforcing the fact that this hive mind will do whatever it takes for preservation. Same way they walk away from Carol.
Except for picking an apple.
Okay, and like that's weird. That's why I'm like, we do need to get some sort of like clarification as to what it is. Because if they're willing to give Carol an atom bomb, but they're not willing to pick an apple, where's the fucking line? I don't understand, but it does seem like there is going to be some sort of wording, especially with like the John Cena scene where you're talking about here. It's like, it's iffy morally and even biologically, but you know, we kind of have to do what we have to do for sustenance. That line's going to be interesting to see. Now, the last comment that we have here, Aaron Tooley wrote, why isn't anybody ever talking about the timestamp? They believe that's going to be significant going forward.
I think the timestamp is just for storytelling. Like that's what I
always thought, right?
Yeah. It's a narrative device. Yeah. Like this last episode, they were creative with it. Show us going backwards 3 days instead of just being 3 days prior. They gave us that cool little timestamp scene. So I think it's more of just a narrative device than anything else.
Do you think there's a time where maybe it takes a turn where it's not just counting away from that 0 day, but it's actually counting towards something? Kind of like, remember in the last season of The Bear where they kind of had that clock that's just adding the pressure to the cooker the whole time there in the kitchen. And I wonder if that's a thing here too, where they could sort of get to a point where they're like, yeah, in X amount of days or months or years, everything's going to go to shit. and this timestamp clock kind of becomes a doomsday clock more so.
It would make more sense if I knew the goal. Like, is it going to stop at 75 day, or I don't even know where it's at right now, but like
12 days.
A count, or 12 days. Okay. So like a count down would make more sense for that than a count up. But if you're going to do a count up, just like, I don't know, tell me when to expect something. Is it 20 days, 75 days, 365?
Well, I'm saying maybe they will do that. That's what I'm saying. Is like, maybe it means nothing to us now, but it will maybe by the end of the season. Like, what if there's the cliffhanger at the end of the season of, oh, this can only go on for another 90 days or year or whatever. And we go, oh shit, we've already gone through 30 days in this season 1. Something like that.
So going off of what you're saying, Alfredo, it'd be cool if at some point we see the timestamp and it's counting up, right? And let's say it gets to a certain point and then it just flips to 0.
Flips.
And then it starts either counting down or counting back, whatever. So I could see them utilizing this timestamp thing as a narrative device to just kind of creatively tell us where we're at in the story, but also giving us a sense of impending doom if they do start to, if it flips to a countdown or if it resets to 0 for some reason.
Yeah, I'm all in on that, man. I had only been really looking at this as like a narrative thing of just like giving us the time, date, setting, like all that stuff, but it could become something more here. Guys, I think that's it, man. Pluribus, episode 6, Pluribuses. Thanks for rocking with us throughout this episode, man. It's been fun. We're going to be back again next week for episode 7. And like always, these episodes go up immediately after the premiere or the debut of the episode on Apple TV. So that goes up 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays every week on Apple. There's going to be like a weird schedule. It might happen later on in the year. So we'll see what happens there. But we'll be back again for episode 7. Next Thursday night. And guys, we got It Welcome to Derry on Monday, and coming up, Fallout Season 2, December 17th. So make sure you're there for that. As always, I want to thank everybody for watching or listening all the way through. For myself, for Jag, for Koff. We'll see you next time. Adios.